Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being with us. We're all gathered today here in the Senate to vote on a budget. Actually, let me make a correction. We're not voting on a budget. We're voting on an adjustment because we have a balanced budget. We have a fully funded rainy day fund, and we're making historic contributions to the pension fund. As I said for quite a while now, many in Hartford believe that because the state's finances are overflowing in money from various sources, that families across Connecticut are feeling and experiencing the same condition. And unfortunately, that is just not the case. People in my district, in my neighborhoods, are complaining that with the 40-year high in inflation, they are having difficulty making ends meet. Now, for the past several weeks, actually months, we have come out with various tax packages and initiatives. First, we were looking for a sales tax cut. We then expanded that, and that was about $300 million. We expanded it to gas tax, looking for relief today, and that went to $500 million. And then more recently, we came out with a proposal for $1.2 billion. And time and again, the governor and his majority told us that what we were doing was prohibited by federal law, that we couldn't do what the Senate Republicans wanted to do, and somehow that fighting for Connecticut's taxpayers was somehow irresponsible and untoward. We decided, because the governor and the Attorney General, after writing letters and requesting that he fight for Connecticut taxpayers, when he chose to sit on Connecticut citizens' rights and not get involved in that litigation, we came forward and said we are willing to stand up and fight for the hard-working Connecticut families who deserve tax relief. Once again, told that we were somehow irresponsible and that this was illegal. Illegal was the word they used. I'm here to tell you today that based on OFA numbers, that new tax cap is now in excess of $1.4 billion. And if the majority only listened to us all along, we could give the biggest tax cut in Connecticut's history to the people, the hardworking families of Connecticut. We have an opportunity this afternoon to do it because there will be an amendment offered. We will put forward that plan so that tax relief is a reality for Connecticut families, and not sometime next year in the form of tax credits, but in real relief today, now, while inflation and high cost and the unaffordability of Connecticut is visiting all these homes across our state. This relief will be there for them. We're going to reduce income tax for working and middle-class families earning under $175,000, $75,000 per person. Reduce sales tax, extend the gas tax, diesel tax, eliminate the HUT tax, which is the truck tax, maintain and accelerate the elimination of tax on pension and Social Security, expand the property tax credit, make sure that we don't put impediments in front of job creators, and yes, we would also extend it to the child tax credit and EITC. This is what Connecticut Republicans stand for, helping Connecticut families. That's what we were sent here to do. I'm going to remind you that while they are talking, the majority's talking about tax relief, it's $600 million, which pales in comparison to what we are. It's less than half. And it's not all now. Most of it's next year. So when you average that out to most people across Connecticut, it's less than $100. And let me remind you what has happened since I've just been here in the legislature, which was 2010. It was when I was elected, showed up in 2011. Okay, that year we had the highest tax increase in Connecticut's history, a $2.5 billion tax increase, followed by a $300 million tax increase 2 years later, and then the second highest tax increase in Connecticut's history of $2 billion in 2015. In 2019, 2 years ago, this governor and this majority handed Connecticut taxpayers $1.8 billion in new taxes. $600 million is a drop in the bucket compared to the economic harm that has happened to Connecticut families under this majority. Today we have an opportunity to return a historic tax cut to the people of Connecticut. They are struggling, they are in need, and they deserve it. My question is, are we going to give it to them? The majority will get the opportunity to vote on that. We will put it on the calendar. We will run it in the chamber. Let's see what happens.